So welcome back to the channel, hope everybody's doing well. And in today's video we are going to revisit our DMMCheck Plus, the new version, revision 8, that we had problems with the last time measuring the 100 ohm resistance. My two reference meters, I have here the DMM7510 and the 2450 source meter. They have both been sent away to Germany for calibration. They are away for 6 weeks. Unfortunately, this one here, the DMM7510, passed. There were no issues with it. There were no adjustments made to it. The 2450 did have a fault on it, and it had to have a repair and then a recalibration. So both of these units are reading within the manufacturer's specification and are certified as such. So hopefully we can take some readings on our 100 ohm resistor and get an in-spec reading. We've also got the revision 5 version here, which again we saw an increase on the 100 ohm resistor on our 7510. So if we just zip back to our 7510, so our leads are set up currently for wire measurement on our 2450. We can switch him on, and if we short these out, we'll try and short out our sense leads because that was complained about last time. So our two sense ends are these two here. So if we short those out, we can then relative that out. See how well we get on with that one. We've plugged him back onto our revision 5 version there, and we are reading 100.088, which is it's just out. Should be 100.0881. That's just out of specification, although I might have that for the 7510 there, so I'll have to revisit that. We will just swap over the leads onto our revision 8 version and see what we get there. And we are 107.0316, which is even worse than last time. That's our 0. Let's just go 1K. Although it's reading the revision 5 perfectly okay, we're 1K. Don't know about that. Swap our leads over onto our 7510 and we'll see what reading we get with that. So again, there's our 7510. I'm going to do the same again. I'm going to short these out to our sense wires. Yep, so that's sense against sense. And I mean, it's not going to make much difference to the reading really. Relative as well. Both of these set up the same. We're on 5 PLC, and obviously this is 7.5 digits, that's 6.5 digits. But we'll go back to our revision 5 on there, and we are just on the top limit there. Yeah, okay. So just swing you back onto the meter. We are 100.0885 now. It's 60. 62 is drifting around a little bit. That's just out of spec. It should be 100.0881. So yeah, okay. Let's put him back onto. Put him onto our revision 8 version, which is we were having troubles, and we've got, oh dear, a little bit higher still, 107.18. 262. Mamma mia, that's not good at all. So have we got something wrong with our revision 8 then? Let's go back to check our 0 again. Yeah, it's not going to be affecting the reading, is it? So we've removed the DMMCheck Plus from its box here. This is the 100 ohm resistor that's on the board, and you can see we're reading 107.2 ohms. I'll just give a little bit of pressure on there and just see if any of these joints do make a difference. So far, we're still doesn't want to go back to 100 ohms. So let's go to wire. I'll just swap the probes over. Just go on to these 2 wire probes. I'm not looking at specific values with this. I'm just going to see if we do get any. There's your 107 ohms. Let's see if there's any resistance between junctions and solder joints. 7. So we're right on top of the resistor there. We've got 107 ohms. It's me slipping off. So it looks like it could be an issue with the actual resistor itself, which is quite unusual. I suppose by rights this should go back, but that's going to be Welectron in Germany for me, so I think what I will do is I'll try and reflow that and just see if it makes a difference. So I don't think it will do. I'll just drop the resistor off completely and measure it on its own and see what we get then. I just put these pictures up here as well of the solder joints that I looked at through a microscope. Can't actually see anything wrong with either of the solder joints on the 100 ohm resistor. Didn't appear to be any cracks or bad solder joints on there, so I'm assuming at this time that there is an issue with the resistor itself, and I'll have to remove it to test it. So we've managed to desolder the resistor from the board here. You can see it's been removed at that point there, hopefully. We've just about set it up on our 4-wire resistance measurement. A bit fiddly to do, but we did get there in the end. You can see the resistor is just in between the 2 probes, and we are reading 107.18 ohms. So bizarrely enough, this resistor has gone out of spec, which is a very unusual fault. Very unusual indeed. But we'll get hold of a new resistor and solder them in, and then hopefully that will resolve our little problem, and our DMMCheck Plus will be all okay again. So you can see here we've managed to set up the replacement resistor in between the 2 probes as well, and you can see I've got 100.0034 ohms, which is interesting. We'll see how close that is once we've soldered it into the board. I couldn't actually find the same resistor that's used by DMMCheck Plus. They use 0.1% resistor and 10 ppm thermal coefficient. I got this one, which seems to be a higher spec range. Surprisingly expensive for a resistor, but it's going into the DMMCheck Plus, so we can substantiate that. But this one is a 0.02% with 2 ppm coefficient, so we've got a base value reading there. We'll see how close we can get when we've soldered it into the board. So there's our unit all back together. We've got 100.0108 ohms reading on there. With regard to doing this, obviously I have an original certificate of calibration from DMMCheck Plus. At least for the 100 ohm resistor, that's now invalid. I'll have to go by the resistance reading I've got there, unless I can send this away to a calibration lab and they would measure it for me with their higher spec equipment and much more controlled environment as well. Bit of a strange one to happen, resistor failing like that. I'm happy to do this to my own box here. I've purchased this so I can do what I like with it. If this does happen to yours, obviously your best route, with it being under warranty, is to send it back to DMMCheck Plus or Welectron and get them to repair it and issue with a new calibration certificate. As I said, I chose to do this off my own back and I've invalidated any warranty now doing this, but that was my choice. But that'll be it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you found it useful, and I will see you again in the next one.